this is not looking good. There is some wire exposed on here, and this is a Lenovo plug on the end, but I'm not sure about this. This is definitely not a genuine Lenovo adapter. Kind of rattles, feels very light, so I think this is probably time for this to go in the bin, but we may as well have a look inside. This hasn't been plugged in for a very long time. I do not recommend doing this. I can't even get it open, so this may be a mute point. There must be a way of getting these open though. So I got in after using some force, and in this power supply there's not much. There's a couple of metal heat sinks. Will that come out, or is it stuck in there? I'm of course avoiding touching anything. And on the other side we've got a bunch of circuitry. So the writing's upside down, I guess. It's got a revision number, revision 5, so that's interesting. Maybe they've made 5 of these designs previously. Yeah, there's not much in here. I don't know. There's a little fuse down there. I haven't taken apart many other laptop power supplies, so I don't know if this is normal or if this is kind of lacking anything, but it looks pretty basic. And because of the wiring situation, although I suppose it could fix it, but because of the wiring situation, I'm going to just leave it. And yeah, that can go into e-waste. But what we've got here is a Lenovo Thinkpad. It's been donated for recycling, and it is a T450. And we've got, it looks like there's a key that's actually melted here. Maybe something hot landed on there, or maybe it's just a bunch of blue tack, perhaps, to stop the rest of it falling out. Maybe, I don't know, but there's no battery power, so I'll get a different power adapter and plug it in. I've got a genuine Lenovo 65 watt power adapter with the square plug, and we can plug the power in and see what happens when we press the power button. I'm also going to try and get this, let's have a look in the BIOS. F1. I'll try and get rid of this. It looks like blue tack from this button. So we've got an Intel i5 5300U, 8 gigs of RAM, that's good. It's 10 years old, it's from 2015. And I'm trying to look for any boot information. So it's got a Samsung drive. Strange that network boot is a hard drive, but let's just restart and see what happens. This is just blue tack, so And it looks like it's booting into some kind of Windows. I suppose the up arrow is quite a useful key to have. Doesn't have the light up keyboard. And we've got Windows. Okay, so I don't know the password for this system, so I'm just going to wipe it, install Windows again. So it took about 10 minutes to install Windows 10 and we're now on the desktop. And if we have a quick look around this system, we've got the i5-5300U, which is a dual core processor with 4 threads, base speed 2.3 GHz. I'm not sure what it turbos to. Maybe if we wiggle this around, we'll get it to turbo, maybe not. We've got 8 GB of DDR3 RAM. Hopefully that's in dual channel. And then we've got a 128 GB SSD drive. So that's a good basis for a system. I do need to check the keyboard works properly. There are some sort of keys around here that are a little more difficult to press. You can see this one's getting a little bit stuck, but perhaps thorough cleaning will help with some of these keys. The middle mouse pointer works, I can use that. And we've also got disk info. This tells us how much the drive's been used and that the health is good. And it's running at SATA 600 speeds. I've also put core temp on here so I can have a look at the temperatures, and I'll use CPU-Z to check what the temperatures are like when the processor is under stress. The memory is running in dual channel. It's made up of 2 4 gig sticks of DDR3L. The graphics driver is not installed yet, and if we bench the CPU, we're getting 837.36, and it turbos up to 2.7 gigahertz. And it's quite a low power processor because it looked like it wasn't using that much. 15 watts is a TDP. So if we stress this and leave it running a bit, the fan is kicking in, temperatures are going up, but so far they seem quite reasonable. So I'll leave that running for a little bit as well. So while that's running, I'll just have a look at the screen resolution. It does look quite nice. Looks like we've got 1600 by 900, which is quite a high resolution. So let's have a look inside. The temperature now is maximum 78 degrees C. Not too bad, I suppose, but we can have a look inside, see if it needs any dust cleaning out, and replace the thermal paste. So this should be fairly straightforward in terms of taking this apart. It looks like there are about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screws. There must be another one somewhere. It would be strange for there to be an odd number, but maybe there are an odd number of screws. There was an additional screw, so there are in fact 8 screws. It might have been used in quite a dusty environment, but looks not too bad really. It's got this battery here. I thought Lenovo batteries had labels on. It looks like both of the batteries in this are not working or unalive. So I may as well have a look at this and see what's going on with this one. This will be where our SSD is. We've got a space here for an additional drive by the looks of things. That's pretty good. Got the Wi-Fi. That's a card reader slot. We've got the battery. And under here we've got 2 sticks of RAM, and yeah, those slots are full, so that's fine. It could be upgraded, but yeah, I'll just give this kind of a quick brush over to get rid of some of the dust, and I'll have a look at this battery because I thought Lenovo batteries had labels on them. This one doesn't seem to. Maybe it's on the other side. Oh, there we go. There's all the Lenovo writing, and again, pretty dusty. From 2015, so yeah, 10 years old. August 2015. It's not really that surprising that this doesn't work. The little speakers are pretty cool. Quite a good size unit. But I may as well leave this in because I guess I don't know why. I mean, is there any reason to take it out? Doesn't seem to be causing any issues other than the fact that it says the battery is flat. Not too dusty, it just looks a bit kind of, don't know what's happening with this heat pipe, but we may as well check the thermal paste on the processor, as that doesn't really take that long. Willis is in the background, not sure what she's up to. Okay, and that whole thing comes off quite easily. And the thermal paste has a little bit of movement, but it's also quite dried up. So that is it. That is the whole heatsink for the processor. And it does look kind of small, but it's a low power processor, 15 watts. I'll give this a clean. It looks like there might just be one screw covering this up. So if we can get in here, we can properly clear out any dust that might be in here. Then again, it might be sort of attached in ways that I'm not seeing, perhaps under all this tape. Don't really want to bend it. I think it's also probably sellotaped on in various points, which is a bit okay. We've got in, there's not actually that much dust in there. Little fan, get rid of the dust, put it back together. Not sure what this is along here, like almost like it's leaked or had some kind of water damage. Not seeing anything other that's particularly noticeable. But let me try and put this back together. So there's some little clips, little plastic clips that line up, and then one screw there. So this looks like it's gone back together quite nicely. Just need to find this tiny little screw and put that back in. And then I can clean up the thermal paste, put some fresh stuff on. It looks like this bit doesn't actually get any cooling. There was no thermal paste on this bit, just on here, and then there's a space there, so maybe there's supposed to be a small thermal pad between that, or maybe there's not. Maybe it doesn't want the heat from the processor. Yeah, maybe I'll have to have a look at a teardown video by someone else to see what the setup is with this, see what it should be like. Okay, well, looking at another teardown on YouTube, theirs shows that this doesn't have anything on it either, so maybe that is just the way it is. Maybe that is normal. So where is my thermal paste? Put some thermal paste on. That's probably a little bit too much, to be honest. Yeah, that's quite a lot. I've cleaned that up, and now I just need to put the screws in. So there is enough thermal paste, but not as much as I first put in. Okay, I've just spotted a plastic little shim has escaped. Should be there. There's one there, and there's one on this screw that's in there. I didn't notice those before. So I've connected the fan back up. I have forgotten to put the screws in for the battery, so I just need to do that. And those screws are in, and I can put the back on. These are not puffed up, they're quite solid, so I'm not worried about that too much. I've given this a dust. All the screws are captive, so they stay in place. I think I should be able to click it all back into place, and I guess it's just the outside that needs cleaning, really. Back bit's not clicking properly. All the screws are back in, and it needs a clean. This is an anti-static foaming cleaner. I don't know if you can get it anymore like this, but this is the can. Fizzes away. And we have a cleaner laptop. That may have been the wrong thing to use. It kind of feels a little bit sticky, this plastic. But let's just switch it on, see how it is now. So it still switches on, that's good. Still boots into Windows. And we're at the desktop. Let's check the temperature now that we've replaced the thermal paste. So we'll do the same thing again where we stress the CPU, and we'll just wait a little bit. So I've connected it to the internet so that I can update the drivers. Temperatures seem pretty good. We're at 63 degrees C. Stress test is still running. I've done some more gentle cleaning of the screen just with the cloth and without chemicals, and it's beginning to look quite nice. I do need to check the keyboard fully works, but put in the Wi-Fi password and that was fine. So I feel like the keyboard is going to work, even though I haven't properly checked it yet. But this looks like a really nice laptop. I'm going to carry on testing it and see if there's any problems that arise or pop up. But this is just a nice laptop to work on. ThinkPads are kind of seem to make it easy for you to do basic maintenance so that you can clean the fan, refresh the thermal paste, and get your system working well. The screen looks good, and yeah, I can't really complain. I guess the problems with this are the batteries. They both appear to be dead, but if you don't need battery power, then you could cope with that, or you could get a replacement battery so that you do have some battery life with this. But I think we'll end that here. Just make this short and relatively sweet and relatively pain-free, apart from spraying the back of it with some anti-static foaming cleaner, which is not a good idea. It's a combination of solvents, detergents and surfactants formulated to remove a wide range of dirt, grime and staining. It's from Somerset. Yeah. Anyway, if you've got this far in the video, thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. Feel free to leave a comment. Always enjoyable reading those. And if you want, you can become a channel member, but you don't have to. All the videos will be free, apart from like one or two that you're probably not missing much. Anyway, see you in another video. Bye. 442 frames per second in Quake 3, and the keyboard does appear to work properly. I've tidied up this whole key here, got rid of all the blue tack, taken it out, and I've put in one of these. This is from a different Lenovo laptop. It should be this size, much smaller. But I can order a replacement key from eBay and the little rubber thing, and then it is going to work. So they're about £2 or £3 on eBay, and then this laptop is pretty much fixed. Just needs this little key and Windows reinstalling and some thermal paste. So